additional long-form videos every month, 3 additional long-form audios, 1 non-ASMR 30 plus minute vlog per month, photos, a 60-minute live stream every month in ASMR, etc., 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 as well as personal interaction. So, linked in the description box. Okay, so today I figured I would talk about some of the trends that I've seen happening lately and just comment on them and tell you what I think. I think especially with the rise in popularity of things like short form video content, whether it's TikTok. Here's to hoping it doesn't get banned. I think I'm posting this on the day where like the decision will be made, or Instagram Reels or whatever. There's always some trend going on, and some of it is fabulous information and helpful, and some of it is like cringe, and some of it just makes me roll my eyes, or yeah. So I have like a list. I was asking ChatGPT to give me some trends to get my wheels turning. We're just gonna talk through some trends, and I'll give you my thoughts on them. And you can give me your thoughts in the comments. And I'll do more of these if this video doesn't flop. Okay, so the first one, and these are all different, beauty, culture, whatever. The first one is the whole like scalp care thing. If you are on the side of TikTok that I am, some beauty stuff, there's like these spas, not even spas, like hair cuttery places, and now spas that do like these crazy scalp treatments, and they like analyze your scalp and get in there with like a microscope or whatever. And there's like even now products that I've seen that like it's like a comb that gets all like the dead skin out of your scalp. And at these like scalp spas or the scalp treatment at the spa, they're like, again, looking at it under a microscope, they're doing like a ton of different cleanses, blah blah blah. My thoughts on the scalp thing is that it's a little bullshitty. And now I think for the most part my YouTube audience is smart enough to understand that opinions are differing and not take things too serious, but have to caveat, it's just my opinion. Obviously everything I say on this channel is my opinion, but I think it's like way overkill. I think that like your scalp is your scalp. I mean, I think everybody is always trying to also like look for a secret way to like grow their hair and have their hair be healthy, when like it's really just as simple as genetics for the most part, and most things like don't work to do that, and like scrubbing the crap off your scalp isn't gonna like make your hair grow faster unless you have some weird like unnatural rare like built up necessary, and like your scalp gets perfectly clean from just your regular shampooing and conditioning at home. The ways to grow your hair other than through just genetics is through minoxidil, which is Rogaine, which can be used topically or orally. Finasteride, okay, that's another one, can be done topically or orally. Most of the time women cannot have finasteride because it can like mess with their reproductive organs. You can't do minoxidil while pregnant, but you can't really ever do finasteride as a woman unless you're like postmenopausal. Or there is a pill called spironolactone that can help with hair growth, that can help with acne, things like that. Someone check me on this. Fact check me. Go talk to your dermatologist. Anything else? Biotin, unless you have a biotin deficiency, you are just going, if you're ingesting biotin for like hair growth, you're just gonna pee it all out. It's not something you can have an excess of. Like, you either have a deficiency and that's why your hair's not growing, or you don't, and biotin does nothing. So all those hair gummies, all that other shit, it's bullshit. So I'm a believer that while that scalp thing seems to be something that could be relaxing for some, if it's something that you're investing in to try and like get your hair to grow, BS. Mic drop, mic drop, mic drop. Okay, what else? Some of these things are like, I'm like, is this a trend? Like, it's like makeup trends, soft goth aesthetic. Like, it's like it is being goth like back, like heatless hairstyling. That's a good way to keep the health of your hair. Overusing heat on the hair is bad. Although it's not gonna necessarily stop it from like growing. It's just gonna be crappy. Sustainable packaging is one of them, and that just means, right, like brands adopting recyclable, biodegradable packaging, things like that. And I am pro thumbs up for this. I think that there's like two kinds of people. There's the people that are like, I'm a sucker for packaging, and I might have said this before in my life, so I don't remember, but I feel differently now, if there was a point where I said that. And then there's the people that are like, this is ridiculous. And I think that there used to be this like really, like back in the beauty influencer days, like this emphasis on this crazy, like lavish packaging, PR packages for influencers, giving them, you know, every shade of foundation. You know what, I'm gonna group into this like overconsumption, like materialistic overconsumption. So being just more minimal in general. And I am just like, I think, I mean, I'm sitting here in my, like, I'm literally in a room that is a closet. It's a small room. I don't have a space for my actual closet. And I do have a lot sushi. Sometimes it's a sleigh. But just like the price, it's just like you're literally paying so much money, like this crazy markup for these designers, and it's just like, it's just insanity. And again, I think I've said this, like, if you can fully afford it, like, fine, but I think the majority of people are buying these bags and things like that they really can't afford, and it's like ironic because they're buying it to like appear as though they have money, but really they like are struggling to pay their rent that month or something because they bought this $3,000 bag. So unless to you buying a $3,000 bag is like buying a $200 bag for somebody else or whatever, I think that the quiet luxury is nice. Okay, next it says, well, it says slow living. It's like food and wellness trends, slow living. To me, that reminds me of the like, I'm in my like soft girl era, which like I actually wanna kind of like Google what that means specifically. Girl era, because I remember kind of rolling my eyes at that, but at the same time I also was just like, it's for the teens, and like let them be teens, Julia. Okay, so yeah, it says the soft girl era is a lifestyle and fashion trend that emerged in mid to late 2019 among young women, particularly on TikTok. Feminine look, girly girl attitude, focus on self-care and self-empowerment, embracing a slow pace, setting boundaries, prioritizing well-being, surrounding themselves with kindness. I mean, okay, that's like a good thing, right? So that's a good thing, although I'm like a thumbs down to like trying to define or put like your personality like in a box or like within these like limiting definitions, because I think that you can be like all of the things. You can embrace a slow pace sometimes and then other times be chaotic and crazy. You can prioritize your well-being, but other times like throw caution to the wind. And you know, prioritizing self-care, such as making smoothies. Making smoothies. I literally just got a blender. It was a gift. It was a Christmas gift from my company. So I want to make smoothies. Taking care of their skin, doing cozy cardio instead of intense workouts. Okay, now that makes me roll my eyes, like labeling these cozy cardio. Like, what the fuck does that mean? So, I mean, I'm all for this, but I think sometimes getting like, I'm a thumbs down on getting like obsessive around these like, these just made up names and definitions of things that are trends that you don't like have to feel bad seeing things like this. Like, the rules, the stress, like, the products that people are trying to sell you. It's just, who can keep up? Who can prioritize their gut health and their mental health and their this and their that? Like, there's just too much to keep up with. When in reality, like, these things are often way, like, overcomplicated, and like, I'm no doctor, so I won't get into like too much of the specifics around like the gut health thing, because like, I know probiotics are good, and like eating certain like yogurts are good for your stomach cultures and things like that. But at the end of the day, it's like the same things about health and your weight and your gut and all of that have been true for like the last zillion years. And it's just, what's realistic, the best thing that you can do that is doable is to just balance. Eat fruits, eat vegetables, limit your processed food intake, limit, you know, things like red meat, pork, fast food, whatever, like sugar, you know what I mean? Just don't go crazy, like just do the thing, get some nutrients in, don't eat 5,000 calories a day. Like, it's like people will be out here, you know, eating like absolute garbage every day and then being like, I'm gonna buy this thing to fix my gut health. It's like, just do better. Like, just don't, like, there's not a magic product for things like this except for Ozempic. I mean, whoa. Let's talk about Ozempic for a second. Speaking of trends, Ozempic, Wegovy, Manjaro. I mean, so crazy. Like, talk about a little magic pill for weight loss. I mean, this is like the thing that like people have been wanting for years and years and years. And it's actually like a clinically studied, you know, approved, prescribed drug that definitely does what it says it's going to do. I've seen friends lose like a little bit of weight. I've seen friends lose like a lot of bit of weight. It's just like wild. And I do think it's a good thing for many people. Although my bone to pick with it is that people need to learn and understand about how, like, scientifically how weight loss works, so that when they do go on it, that they don't have to come off of it and then just be completely ignorant of what it means to be in calorie maintenance and what that it means for their body and their weight and their age and their gender and XYZ. Because if you are just less hungry, which is essentially what it does, that's gonna just naturally cause you to eat less. But when you go off of it and you become hungry again and you're just eating the same things and more of those things, then you'll gain it back. So realistically, scientifically, the only way to lose weight is being in a calorie deficit or burning more calories than you consume. So if you think you're in a calorie deficit and you're not losing weight, you are by definition not in a calorie deficit. And so many people will try and argue that, and I'm like, no, you're confused. Love ya. But is going over your head. So yeah, I'm a supporter of short-term Ozempic, whatever it is, to get yourself, like, get a little head start for yourself. Look at me trying to whisper, snap. To get a head start for yourself, but making sure you understand how, like, weight loss actually works so that you're not just yo-yoing, because that's not good for your body either. Okay, next one. Wearable tech. Devices that track stress levels, sleep patterns, or other health metrics in real time. So, I'm in on that. You can see because I'm wearing it. I've talked about this. This is my Ultra Human ring. It is essentially the Aura ring. It's a competitor. But the Aura ring, you need a monthly subscription. You buy the product and then you have a monthly subscription to use it. Bullshit. This one, there's no monthly subscription. And I have a link in my description box for 10% off the Ultra Human ring. Speaking of calories and things, I like it because it tracks your steps, calories, your workouts. You can see how many calories do you burn, like, in a day, just like sitting on your ass, or like taking a 45-minute walk. And I like to track my steps. It tracks your sleep, your heart rate, things like that. I'm out on the Apple Watch. It's bulky for me. I think it's nerdy looking. I don't care if you have an Apple Watch and you love your Apple Watch and you think it's so stylish. Like, live your truth. Rock that shit. I don't like it. I also don't need my text messages to be attached to my wrist. I'm already addicted to the phone. I don't need any more phone stuck to my body. So I'm in on these. I'm trying to think what else is like wearable tech. I mean, it's to a point, because like the virtual reality goggles and stuff, like I'm out on that for now. I mean, and for most, like, certain things, like, I think there's a balance, and like technology has obviously been an amazing thing, but there's a point where it becomes too much, which, so it says on here, like, virtual reality socializing and stuff, like the fucking, and then AI companions. I mean, AI I love. I'm all in on it. Oh my god. For certain things. Not everything. But, guys, have you seen these, like, robots they're making? Like, that they're like, oh, like, trying to make robots to be like people's girlfriends and stuff. I'm like, no. Like, and they're like $150,000. I forget what company makes these, but it like talks to you and looks at you. I'm like, that is so effing weird. You cannot replace people, or we shouldn't be replacing people with robots. Like, especially in like that situation. Although I know Tesla has like a butler robot or whatever. And honestly, sometimes I use ChatGPT as like my little assistant in certain ways. So like anything to like AI being like a help as far as things like editing or giving ideas or, you know, whatever. I think it's so helpful. I think you do still know how to use it. It doesn't come, not like any idiot can just go in and like, you know, create something amazing that looks original, and like you have to like train the AI. And I've trained mine. Like, it knows me. It knows what I like. something like that. I might be in on it. What else? Mental health first. Prioritizing mental well-being at home, school, and work. I'm in on this in certain ways and out on it in others. Let me explain. Obviously, I'm in on it when it comes to prioritizing your mental health in like a work setting, setting appropriate boundaries when needed, not letting yourself be abused in relationships, mentally, emotionally, physically, obviously. But what I do think that TikTok and short form content has created a bit of an epidemic of is like people not having, like, thinking that they don't owe anyone anything. Do you know what I mean? And there's times when it's okay to say, like, I'm just doing too much, like, I can't go to this, I have to say no, or like whatever. Like, there's times where that's perfectly appropriate. But I think some people are using it as an excuse in the name of mental health and their well-being and boundaries, when it's like you actually sometimes can't just cut somebody off completely because they pissed you off, or not go to someone's, wedding shower that's your really close friend that was there for your stuff because you're having anxiety that day. Like, you can't do that. Like, showing up for people, being an adult, like sometimes doing something that you don't necessarily want to do is just a part of life, especially in like real world situations, like work situations and things. You don't get to choose your coworkers and who you work with and their style of work and things like that, and sometimes you have to deal with difficult people and difficult situations, and you need to know how to handle them with grace and communicate with those people and move forward. You can't always cut a family member out of your life, like XYZ. So, yeah. Okay. There's so many good ones here. Authenticity in social media. Shift away from overly curated feeds to raw, genuine content. Love this. So in on this. I'm in on this because it's beneficial to me, because I can't. It takes so long to do like overly curated, like, like what's her name, Nara Smith, like type content. Like, honestly, sometimes I can be like, overly curated content can be like inspiring and fun, but we can't take it too serious. And I mean, I prefer a little realness. I really do. I think authenticity in social media too. I think like a trend that will come through, and it's just like starting to come through, is like influencers, more and more influencers that are like real people. Because with the advances in AI editing and technology and short form content, and how easy it can be to like film and do this and that, like more people are doing social as like a side hustle and not necessarily as like a means to do it full time, such as your girl. I've never really meant to do it full time. I've like thought about it, but it's never been like my goal. You guys know I've always been pretty corporate career minded. So I think even like people like, I mean, obviously there's your mega influencers like Alex Earl, who, I actually discovered her before she was think she's cute, and like she's so famous that like she pops up on my stuff. But now that she's like just an influencer and like doesn't have like what was she gonna do if she wasn't gonna be an influencer? Again, I think she, like, her dad is so wealthy, like they have like ties, I feel like, to like famous people and stuff. Like she might have already kind of been heading down that path, but I just would have been so curious to see her in like her corporate girl era or something, and just kind of just being an influencer, or like being an influencer just because you're rich and pretty. Because like there's influencers that I like that do it full time, but they're just more, I mean, they're still beautiful and successful, but they're not just like quintessential like hot skinny girl that's rich, you know what I mean? And I'm talking like rich because that's rich is like objective, right? So yeah, I'm definitely on board with the authenticity in social media, but then I also don't want to be hatery at like anyone doing it full time or making their money being an influencer because they're hot and rich. Like,